Hello everyone. So let's move on to question number 3. Now in question number 3 it says here the number b of a certain type of bacteria at time t days can be described by b is equals to 200 e power of 2t plus 800 e to the power of negative 2t. Now first question here, it's telling us to find the value of b when t is equals to 0. So the good thing on this question is that it already made b as a subject, and all you have to do is just substitute the t when it goes to 0 into the respective t, right? So it's equals to 0 plus 800 e negative 2 bracket 0. Okay, now we have 200 e to the power of 0, 2 times 0 is 0, plus 800 e power of 0. Then we have e to the power of 0 is going to be 1 for each of these. Then we'll have 200 plus 800, which becomes 1000. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. So part 2, at the instant when dB over dt is equals 1200, show the following equation. Okay, now it's given us a hint of what to do next. So they showed us the differentiation of b in terms of t, and we're going to copy the equation of b, which is 200e to t plus 800e negative 2t. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to differentiate this in terms of t. So we have dB over dt, which is equals to 2 times 200, that's 400 e 2t plus, sorry, it's going to be minus 1600 e negative 2t. So it's happening in differentiation of exponential is that you're going to take the power of exponential to t, you're going to differentiate that, and the differentiation you're going to multiply it in the front since you're doing differentiation. Okay, and that's also the same for the second term of t of e. Now once we've completed the differentiation, the question mentions that dB over dt is equals to 1200. So let's plug that number in. We have 1200 is equals to 400e 2t minus 1600e negative 2t. Okay, now it looks like the showing equation, we don't see any negative powered e there. So instead of having e power of negative 2t, let's bring this down to over e to the power of 2t. Okay, it also shows that in the equation there's no fraction, right? So I want to eliminate this fraction, which means that I'm going to multiply everything by e to the power of 2t. So I multiply everything by e to the power of 2t. Okay, so then I'll have 1200 e to the power of 2t is equals to 400 e to the power of 4t, right? Because e times e to t plus times e to t, same e, but you only have to add the powers only. Then minus 1600. Okay, now it looks like we have equals to 0 on the right side. Let's bring everything to the left side, but let me double check. We want to make sure our e to the power of 4t is positive. So I will just swap these two sides. Then I'll bring the 1200 to the other side. So that's minus 1200 e to t minus 1600. Now we don't see a 400 in front of e to the power of 4t. So it looks like we're going to have to divide this by 400. So e 4t, we divide everything here by 400. So that's 4t. Then 400 divided by 1200 is going to give you 3. That's e 2t. Oops. Then minus 4 is equals to 0. And then you finally shown. Okay. Now, moving on to the last part, part 3. It says here that we want to use substitution. U is equals to e to the power of 2t. Or otherwise solve the equation that we found previously. Okay. So using the substitution of u is equals to eut, we're going to have u squared minus 3u minus 4 is equals to 0. Then what do you see here? It's a quadratic equation, right? Now we're going to use the completed square, sorry, not completed square, the cross method. So we have u squared minus 4 minus 3u, and it's u times u, then it's in this case we want to get negative 3, so that's 4 times 1, we want to get negative 4, so when we cross multiply, that's negative 4u plus u. Okay, So when we factorize this, we're going to have u minus 4 and then u plus 1 equals to 0. Then we can finally find this as u equals to 4 or u is equals to -1. But do remember that we are here not trying to find u, we're actually trying to find t. So we'll have to substitute back the u is equals to e power of 2t into what we found here. Okay, so now moving on, we're gonna multiply ln by both sides, so which means this becomes 2t and this becomes ln 4, and we will get 2t is equals to ln -1. Now we're going to reject this. So the reason that we're rejecting this is that we cannot get we cannot have a negative ln, okay, negative ln inside of the negative number inside of ln. Okay, so we'll proceed with just 2t equals to ln equals to 4. So then t is equals to 1/2 ln 4. Okay, and that is your answer.